Hello, students. How are you today? I hope you must be safe and staying healthy at your home. So, here today I will start the new chapter, chapter 2 of History Trade to Territory. Hello, students. Welcome to the part 1 of Trade to Territory. Alright, so here I am just discussing the chapter, and this will be the part 1. This lesson throws light on how India gradually went into the hands of the East India Company. The various methods used by East India Company are highlighted in this chapter. The contents which we will share in this chapter are: East India Company comes east, mercantilism, Europeans attracted to India, Jahangir, East India Company Bengal, Carnatic Wars, that is the first Carnatic War 1746 to 1748, then the second Carnatic War, that was 1749 to 1754, then the third Carnatic War, that was 1757 to 1763, then Anglo-Carnatic Wars, then dual administration, then Anglo-Maratha conflict, that was 1775 to 1880, then Anglo-Mysore Wars, then doctrine of lapse, then subsidiary alliance, which was by Lord Wellesley, then direct annexation, then the British administration recognized by Cornwallis. Now this is all the content which we will discuss in this chapter. So now let's start with the East India Company East. So the East India Company East. The English East India Company was granted the right to trade exclusively in the East through the charter issued by Queen Elizabeth in 1600. Now what happened? The East India Company comes to India in 1600. Alright, then what is mercantilism? Now mercantilism. In the 17th and the 18th centuries, the European rulers started protecting their countries' trade from foreign competitions to increase trade profit. Now, what this policy is known as? This policy is known as mercantilism. Now, mercantilism means business enterprise that mainly makes profit by buying goods at a cheap rate and selling them at higher rate. Now, the European rulers sought for colonies where raw materials could be bought cheap and finished products could be sold at higher prices. Now in this picture you can see the map ki routes to India in the 18th century. Now what were the things which attracted Europeans to India? Number 1, the English developed markets in Europe for a variety of Indian produce including indigo and saltpeter. Then the second, European found a big demand for fine quality handloomed and Indian textiles. And the third one, the demand for Indian fabrics such as chintz, calico, and muslin also increased rapidly. Now, the local boats brings goods from ships in Madras painted by William Simpson, 1867. This is what you can see in this picture. Okay, so the things which were attracted to the Indians were these things. Now we'll discuss about Jahangir. Who was Jahangir? In 1612, Jahangir issued a farman to the English and they established a trading factory at Surat in the year 1613. Now, the Sir Thomas Roe came to India as an ambassador of James I and he was the King of England too, and the Mughal court in 1615. Now, Sir Thomas Roe obtained permission from Jahangir to establish English trading factories in different parts of India, and they established their factories at Agra, Ahmedabad, Baroda, and Brouch by 1619. Then the English developed markets in Europe for a variety of Indian produce and consumer economy prospered in Britain. Now the East India Company, Bengal. Now in 1690, Aurangzeb Farman had granted the English the rights to duty-free trade in Bengal for an annual payment of rupees 3000. Now what actually Aurangzeb at that time in 1690, Aurangzeb was ruling and he has given the duty-free trade in Bengal at which rupees? At 3000 rupees. Now, this right to trade by Aurangzeb was abused by the British. And the second, this free trade passes were sold to Indian favorites. And in 1756, the company, in order to deter the French attack, began to fortify Calcutta. And as we all know, that in 1756 only, 1757 only, there was the Battle of Plassey. All right, and just after 100 years, there was 1857, there was revolt. So 1756, what happened? The fortify Calcutta began. The French attack was there. Now Sirajud-Dowlah, who became the Nawab in June 1756, marched to Calcutta, and he was imprisoned those who were unable to flee. Now the dual system, which was introduced by Robert Clive, was abolished by Warren Hastings, and Bengal completely came under the direct control of whom? Of company administration. Now Robert Clive and Warren Hastings, they were abolishing about the Bengal. Okay. Now we will discuss about the Battle of Plassey. Now in 1756, the company, in order to deter the French attack, began to fortify Calcutta, and Sirajud-Dowlah became the Nawab of Bengal. Now he marched to Calcutta and defeated the English. Now the defeat of the English at the hands of Sirajud-Dowlah triggered the British to conspire to replace the young Nawab. Now the Nawab, the company officials led by Robert Clive along with Mir Zafar. And who was the Mir Zafar? He was the commander-in-chief of Sirajud-Dowlah. Now this resulted in the Battle of Plassey in 1757, in which the Nawab was defeated and put to death. And now Mir Zafar was appointed as the new puppet Nawab, and the power was in his hand. Now the Battle of Buxar, we will discuss about the Battle of Buxar, and the Battle of Buxar happened in 1764. This was till part 1. Now the Battle of Buxar we will discuss and the rest of the points in part 2. And this was as yet Battle of Plassey. I hope the points must be clear to you all. So please take care, be home, be safe. Thank you.